Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. It has been a while, but don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow, whether you're listening through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And as well as don't forget to follow on social media, Instagram, TikTok, or X. Yes, it has been a long time since my last episode. It's been a few months. To those who have been subscribing previously, again, always thank you. And to those who still remain subscribed, even with my time away, I still appreciate it. To those that have liked my posts, comments as well that I've made, still through social media, TikTok, or as well as on X, I greatly do appreciate it. I have made an update and change on the logo. Little different than it was before. I have updated it, and now we have a new logo for the podcast. It is Thursday. It is... Well, we're almost done the World Cup. Quarterfinals just went on today. France winning big. As you know, I am Canadian. I'm also Portuguese as well. So obviously me getting the double hit last week on Monday, and as well as last Saturday with Canada losing to Morocco, and as well as Portugal losing to Spain 1-0 on Monday. So yes, it has been a tough break. But the toughness still continues to go on as well with Manchester United. We are in the transfer window. We are looking to sign new players. We've had we finished off to an incredible season, both for the men and for the women as well. For the men, finishing third, obviously getting back in the Champions League, not playing is obviously only playing one game a week, no other competitions, but here we are. As you remember back in February, I did an episode of the podcast discussing who the new manager would be, and I did say it was going to be Michael Carrick. Surprise, surprise, we have Michael Carrick here, the puppet of Ineos and the Glazers, the manager that they wanted, the one who will spin to make it sound like Manchester United is moving in the right direction. This upcoming season, I shall get to that in a moment, to the women's squad, who had a great season. Let's say it was a disappointing run down the stretch. Obviously not getting back into Champions League. Obviously being in Champions League this year, excelling, the tough losses to Bayern. Injuries were a big concern. But overall, still a successful season. Going to a cup final. Obviously Chelsea, for the last 12 months, have had United's number. We had the one draw, but we're losing to them in the cup final and also losing to them in the FA Cup. So there was that tough. There was those tough breaks when you were facing with them. Also facing Man City, having those difficulties. But in the end, for the year that they've had, it was quite a successful one. So this year, get healthy, because the big concern with the women's squad was the depth. Injuries killed the depth that we had. We had a great depth of squad, but the multiple games, the injuries, that stretch from the League Cup until the beginning of April definitely killed the women's squad. It was 7 games within 20 days. So having the injuries, trying to get players back, Sandberg being out, Riviere having her injuries, we had Rolfo out for a bit. So we had hits to our back four. We had hits to our attack. Not having Miyazawa for that stretch due to the Asia Cup. So we had some hits. But in the end, it was still a great season for the women's squad. It was. So, but to rate them all, obviously in the men's squad, the way it went, from the beginning of with Ruben Amorim, him being sacked, to the changeover, to Michael Carrick coming in, to finishing off in Champions League. Listen, at the end of the day, we only played one game a week, and now to look at the season, to rate it, I'd give it a 5.8. Realistically, Champions League is great, but realistically, when we needed these players at the beginning of the season to show up, and then we saw the mentality of them, they weren't there. And when we saw what happened with it, and it wasn't like we had a manager that came in and just decided to be decided to be the caretaker. There's a difference between the caretaker and the manager, and we saw that. He was just a caretaker. He did what he was told, and boom, we finished third. We're playing a system that fits the players, so on and so forth. But now we're in Champions League. Now we have to see Michael Carrick, the manager. And since we know what he's going to be, we know what the Glazers want, we know what the difficulties are going to be. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.8, to say the least, as my rating for Manchester United for the overall men's season. Again, like you can't blame Ruben Amorim for everything. These players didn't show up. A lot of the things that happened were players not playing to their potential, plus the drama of Kobe Manu, plus the injuries, plus what happened with Amorim in the fallout of this board with Ineos and Glazers calling them out. Guess what? It was there. It happened. He wasn't let go because of results. He was let go because he called them out. And you can listen to Ineos and the Glazers, Wilcox, Barada, spin whatever, but that's on them. That is on them. This season, like the beginning of the way the season went, it was on them. It was not getting the players for the support, help build this team, get this team to Champions League. I still believe we still would have made Champions League with Ruben Amorim as our manager. I still believe that. The way things were going, the way how the league turned, like how the rest of the league turned out, we probably still would have made Champions League with Ruben Amorim. The struggles were there, and the struggles weren't just about that. Like Amorim had his faults. Let's not hide that away. But we did see something with the players. We definitely saw mentality issues. We saw that there. And as much as you bring in someone, like I said, a caretaker, that's all he did. He just still did that. And we saw the drop-off. Now, is that drop-off going to carry into next season? Probably. It will, because we're going to be playing multiple games. So fitness is going to have to be an issue. So, but overall, I'm giving it a 5.8 for the rating of the season. Changing a manager, going through being taken out of all the tournaments. You can blame Amorim for a little bit, but the players had opportunities to show up. The drama, I can give the opinion on Kobe Manu, but we'll leave it there. What's done is done. But just to leave it there, I'll give it a 5.8. To the women's squad, listen, I talked about the injuries. This was a successful season. Obviously, I know that's not where they wanted to finish. They did have an incredible year. I'll definitely give it a 6 point. I'll give it a 6.7 for this season for the women's squad. Obviously, ups and downs. The beginning of the season was great, but the second half, obviously, we got the additions. When you saw Wanningham, now I'm brain dead as I was looking at it here. But when you saw the three new players added on through the transfer window, those were good additions. They were. But we saw those struggles there. But we saw the depth issues. We saw the problems there when we were trying to get things going, the injuries catching up. But we had our struggles. We did. And that's why I'm kind of giving it a 6.7. We saw the battles. We saw how they started off in Champions League. We saw how they looked at the beginning of the year within the league as well. There were trouble. It looked like it was going to have a great season. They battled, especially in the stages of Champions League. You saw them beat some good clubs. So you saw that there, but you did see them struggle against Wolfsburg. Lyon was one as well. So they had their problems. They did. We struggled against Bayern. But that second half was just, after the Christmas break, the injuries just started to pile up. So they didn't finish in the top three to get themselves into Champions League, but they still contributed. Like, again, the Chelsea, the injuries, but still going far in Champions League for what they've done as well. So, yeah, 6.7 for me for the way this season went. Again, the injuries you can't control. Like, injuries, depth, it's all part of the game. So, but overall for me, I think it was it's a good season still for the women's squad. To me, it was. You can always let me know what you think, but it's tough. It really is. But I am happy. I really am. I'm just trying to get everything organized here. as well. As you know, I do record on Riverside, and well, Riverside has made some updates, some new updates. Hold on here. Let's just take a look here to see what we have. Cheering transitions, everything. Oopsies. I do apologize for that, guys. Just getting everything ready to go. It has been a while trying to get everything ready to work. But yeah, so in the end, 5.8 for the men's squad, 6.7 for the women's squad for their season. I do apologize for being very late in finishing off that postseason review, but we are just a week away from the men's squad doing their preseason. It's not too far from the women's squad as well, but we are ready to go. We are. We're working its way. That being said, now that the season's done, we are almost done the World Cup. We're 10 days away from the final, the 19th. France looked unstoppable as they continue to. I thought Morocco did an okay job, but eventually France would just break through that defensive wall. But now that it's done, we have players that are going to be returning. Obviously, Mazraoui, who plays for Morocco, should be returning. We will be having Bruno Delot returning as well. Just trying to think. Kobe Mainu, who's still with England, so they're still going on. Who else is there? Just trying to think. Cunha is on his way back. Ederson, who is potentially being our new signing, he's going in for his new updated medical. There's definitely looks like there's some concerns. I have read mentions of a previous knee injury that he's had, so that is concerning, to say the least. So it's just a matter of trying to get him healthy, or if he is healthy, if he sustained anything from the World Cup, because he wasn't on the World Cup squad when it was announced that he was going to be joining us. He was then called up. Since then, he is now obviously with the loss to Norway earlier this week, or was it last Sunday? He is now officially in the UK looking to get his medical, but it looks like they're doing an extensive medical. I don't know if they're making sure that everything is ready to go because if you think about it, we don't want another Mason Mount injury where, we have him playing, doing so on and so forth. So we have to see how everything's going to go. We really do. We have to make sure that we have a healthy player. We're ready to go. Obviously, the news yesterday of Santos coming in as well. So right now we're having depth pieces signed. No real addition added yet. Obviously, with the way everything has started, obviously, let's look at it this way. Let's give a round of applause first for Ineos and the Glazers for how do I say this right now? How do I sound? Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's give the Glazers a lovely round of applause first. Let's just give them a round of applause with everything that's going on. Can we just continue with that? Can we just look at that for a second and just give them a round of applause? The more they keep doing this transfer window, the more you're seeing how Ruben Amorim was right in calling them out back in January. You do. We did nothing in the window in January. We did squat. I think that's the nicest way to put it. We did squat. In this window, and since leading up to this window, we have been linked to Elliot Anderson, who is now with Man City. Doesn't matter about the 115 charges, just he went to them. The two other midfielders that we are looking at here, Tonali and Matheus Fernandes, well, guess where they're going? They're off to Tottenham. They won their bids against us. United weren't willing to make pays. As well, Ineos wasn't willing to spend money. They want to do a wage bill. Don't get me wrong. Controlling wages is great. Not overpaying is fine. But there's overpaying for ridiculous talent, and then there's paying for talent that is due to respect. So how do I rephrase this? Sorry for that massive tongue tie, ladies and gentlemen. There is overpaying for talent, like for example, Anthony. Then there's overpaying. Then there's paying for talent that you know will make an impact, like for an example, an Elliot Anderson, or like obviously. Also, I have to give another round of applause, or have them do a round of applause again, or cheering for Real Madrid. Tucumini, well done as well. I'm just going to give myself my own applause right there. Well done for using Manchester United to get a brand new contract till 2031. Well done, and well done again to the Glazers. Should I do another round of applause there? Yeah. Let's go again, just one more time. Like, make sure you stand up and give a bow, Wilcox, Barada, Sir Jim. Just fantastic job being used as fucking pawns. Well done. Yes, fantastic done. Just incredible. Yeah, you got used so bad that you got a player to get a brand new contract. That's basically what it was. We weren't even in the running for Tucumini, but it's good that he got that new contract. So thank you again, Glazers and Ineos. Well done. That all-star elite recruiting, the best of the best, is doing a bang up fucking job. Just brilliant. But thank you again. Don't forget to just continue to, stand up. There may be an encore at the end of this for how well you guys have done. Listen, nothing against the signings that we've made. Nothing against him. Ederson, I know he's been on our radar since before, like even predating Ten Hag. So we'll leave that there. There's nothing wrong with that. Santos is young, developing. First of all, welcome them both to Manchester United. I know Ederson's still going through his stages, so hopefully we're saying welcome to Manchester United. As always, like I say, don't believe anything until you see them signing that with our social media team. And we have not seen them sign yet, so time will tell. Just like I always said, I won't believe this until I see them with the social media team. I've said that in multiple episodes. But Elliot Anderson wasn't there, despite our lovely board saying we're going for him. Mateus Fernandes, who said he wanted to play with us, said Bruno Fernandes is his favorite player. Well, he's with Tottenham now. Obviously, apparently it was a wages issue. Tonali, who would have cost us probably around close to 100 million. Nope, he's off to Tottenham too. Tucumini has used us for a new contract. Baliba is still on the radar, despite having a horrendous season, and will probably cost United a lot. They're still looking at Scott, which is good. Bruno Guimaraes is, I believe, reported heading to Chelsea potentially. I believe Juan Gomes is already going to Atletico Madrid, so he's going there. Who else do we got? Adam Wharton, potentially, but Palace has to give him up. Again, Scott. So basically, we went into this transfer window with high expectations, and basically the ship is sinking and flooding. Again, this is not a reflection to Ederson or Santos. I'm looking forward to seeing them play. But again, for the way they have laid things out, again, bang up job for misleading this fan base. Lewis Hall, and the worst part is too, we could have tried to done a Guimaraes, Tonali, or Hall, like a pair signing, like a double signing, or a double transfer, getting Tonali and Lewis Hall in for two positions. Would have cost us probably 150 million for two players. But no, that's not going to happen. So we're not getting a new back. Mason Mount is not one of those midfielders that we can use. So that's not going to work out. Carrick will never give an opinion. This is why, like, right now I miss Ruben Amorim, because my God, he probably would have left. He'd be gone out the door being like, what the fuck? Actually, that's probably a lie. We probably would have gotten those guys if Amorim was here. I guarantee it. The reason why we're not getting it is not because of the wages. It is because of what's happened in the last 12 months. What's happened since January. What we've seen so far. And this board again, and I'm not going to do an applause again. I'll do an encore if it seems right. But what we're seeing here is, like, look at what's happened. They abandoned the plan 12 months into a plan. Why would any player come here? And the outline of me hearing saying, oh, we only want players that want to come to Manchester United. A lot of players would like to come to Manchester United. You're just not willing to pay for those players that do want to come. They're not coming here because of the wages or anything. They want to come because they want to play. Cunha and Buemo said they came here for Ruben Amorim. Well, you sacked that man in January because you're cowards. You know what? The same board is not going to do anything to help out with the women's squad either. They're probably not going to give anything towards them. The ownership, again, I don't want this to be a hateful podcast episode for my first day back. Like, all right, here we fucking go. I'm just going to lose my shit. I did that enough when watching the Portugal game on Monday. But going back now, it's not about, I don't think it's about wages or anything. I don't think they can lure anyone here. Nothing against Santos, nothing against Ederson. Ederson's been linked to us since Woodward was here. And that man is at Atlanta. So, and then now we have Santos, who's a young prospect who can develop. And yes, I've have friends who are Chelsea players who say, like, he is a good player. It's going to take time for him to develop. He's going to grow. So I am looking forward to that. But we do need veteran presence. Like right now, our 3 midfielders, actually, as of right now, we only have 2 midfielders. Ugarte is out, which I feel so bad for him. I really do. That was a horrendous injury that he received. It is brutal, and I really hope he recovers quickly. I know it's going to take him a long time, but I feel for that. Like, I really do. My heart bleeds for that. But he needs to recruit. Like, he's gone. So we have realistically, and you can say Mason Mount, say it, like, but then you have to include Bruno. But looking forward at it right now, we honestly only have 2 midfielders. Nothing against Fletcher. Toby Collier, I don't know if he's going to be ready yet. He's probably not, because he's sustained injuries. But realistically, we only have 2 starting mid, and that is Santos and that is Kobe Mainu. We don't have anyone that, like, Santos is going to take time. Ederson, he's not official yet. So realistically, right now, we have Kobe Mainu and Santos. We have 2 young 20-year-olds, 21, 22-year-olds in that midfield. We have no veteran experience. We are, like, again, we're, like, nothing against, like, and Casemiro was great. Guess what? Our midfield was still shit with Casemiro last year. Let's not stand here and pretend like our midfield was the greatest thing in the Prem last year. Even with both of them there, we were still getting run through. Even when the formation changed and there was a back 4, we were still getting run through. We were. Let's not sit here and pretend like they were the saviors of Manchester United. We were playing 1 game a fucking week, and they were still just getting danced through the middle. They had average games. We needed upgrades. Like, literally, we need to upgrade to the point where Kobe Mainu and Casemiro should be on our bench. But we didn't. We're not attracting names. You know why? Because the fucking ownership. And again, okay, you know what? This is my last one. Let's give this here. With everything that's going on in Manchester United right now, let's give it one more round of applause for the ownership and that lovely board. Ineos, the Glazers, Wilcox, Barada. Again, just take another stand up. Just feel that in. Your encore is going to be coming on again, and you're probably going to find this is really annoying. But great fucking job putting out how the new stadium is going to be, where, and all that stuff to distract us that you guys have fucking done it again. Like you threw out distractions of how to get the fan base to ignore the protests last year. You now announced how you've already purchased the land, and now you've set up everything in a little map to distract that you guys are fucking up the transfer window. And it is. And again, nothing against Ederson and Santos. I'm happy that they're joining the club. But they're not doing anything correctly to help. We don't have a backup striker. They haven't sold Joshua Xerxes. We haven't made any sales. We're relying on sell-on clauses from Mason Greenwood and other players. We are not doing the right thing here. We're not. Marcus Rashford is coming fucking back. They are. They're looking at letting him adapt back in. Like, what the shit? Like, what was the point of the last 12 months? What was the whole point of Ruben Amorim's tenure? You literally wasted. I'll say it. You wasted 12 months of Manchester United. And again, you brought in a caretaker and you made him manager. The reason why De Zerbi, Xavi, Enrique would not come here, and I said this back in February. They're not going to bring him in because they're not going to have control. This ownership is not going to do anything to help Manchester United succeed. They're not. And again, 2 signings are great. Cool. But we are not doing anything to improve. Tottenham is right now looking better than we are. They are. They're looking to improve. They're not even in Champions League. But they brought in a manager who is in control and has a history of being a great player, and a manager who has history to lure them in. You went with a guy who can be your little puppet and hope that they can recruit. Amorim, who had a horrible season, his first 6 months, we almost went through relegation, but he was able to recruit Mateus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. And he was working on bringing on Antoine Semenyo. 3 players who made huge impacts the season before signing with Manchester United, and they were willing to come to United for him. They were willing to. He was negotiating. He was trying to work deals and get a project to get things going. But you're relying on a guy who played for Manchester United, won a couple Premier Leagues and a Champions League, and you're all hunky-dory thinking that everything's going to fucking work out? No, it's not going to work. You're not bringing it in. You're not helping the club. You're not helping things grow. It's not working out. It's not going to be great. The struggle is going to be there. And we are going to struggle. Our midfield has not improved. We haven't improved. Now, the only thing I can think of is if you're bringing back Rashford, you can do a rotation of Cunha, who did a decent job at center forward for Brazil. He did. Brazil was not like we get it. We know, but he did well. He had 3 goals in 2 games in the group stages. So we know what he can do. And if you bring in Rashford and all that, but you have to hope that Rashford is willing to be fighting for the badge and not for his ego. Well, again, I look back at it. What was the point? Right now, for Manchester United, you basically, I wish I was in a fan base, start chanting out, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. Because they don't. Ineos and the Glazers do not know what they're doing. Yes, they made 2 they've made 1. Let's hold this here. Officially, right now, we have 1 signing. Hypothetically, theoretically, we have 1 signing. 1. And that is Santos. Ederson has not been official yet because of his medical. He has been announced that he's coming, but nothing's official yet because his medical hasn't passed. So as of right now, Manchester United have one side, technically two. I forgot to mention about the keeper who will be backing up Sonny Laments because what's it called? Altai Bayender is off. He will be leaving. United will be getting money off of him. So, because Onana will not be here. But let's look at this realistically. We have one signing. We have one signing. This is actually a great episode to come back. It is. Let's be real here. I started off great by doing the review. I get it. I gave the men's season 5.8. I'm sure someone's not going to like it, but it's there. It's there. 5.8, I think, is an honest, number for this season, for the way that everything worked out. Like, yes, we finished off strong, but like not in a good way, because now we hired the manager who's a caretaker. Now, what is this caretaker going to be like as a manager? They're two different things. But we already know what he's going to be. He's going to be a puppet because we saw what he gave for his press conference. So either we soar for the stars or we crash and burn. Again, nothing against the signings. I'm sorry that you're getting involved in an episode like this, but you guys are being brought in at a time where it's not looking right for Manchester United. We did not recruit players because the players don't want to come to this club, and it's been because of the last 12 months. I would say even the last 8 months. Because why would they come for a manager that's going to be gone potentially by Christmas when you sacked a manager 12 months into your fucking project? This board, this ownership, and they're never going to go. And I know there's fans out there praising Ineos and the Glazers. Yes, I will. I am going to speak my mind. I will. This isn't my first episode of a podcast. It's my first episode in a while. But I've done a bunch of episodes to say, hey, this is what I think. I'm not going to believe, again, I always say it, I do not believe anything until I see them signed. On that table at Carrington saying, welcome to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano, great, but that things can change. But right now I want them in that room, signing that contract, on that table, smiling with our manager, being like, hey, I'm finally a Red Devil. But no, nothing's happened yet. So, realistically, listen, I'm happy we're getting back. We're not too far. We're a week away from the preseason, I believe. So we're going to have that going on. Ruben Amorim, who's with AC Milan, who is going to be actually hilarious. Amorim's getting his signings for AC Milan. He's going to get the players that he wants to win, despite what happened here. The whole world knows what's going on at Manchester United. Nothing sugarcoating it here. And it sucks that we do have fan channels that are sugarcoating it to say the Glazers are doing a good job. They're not. Ineos is doing horrible. I get it. There's controlling the wage bill because players were overpaid and overdone. I get it. But if the talent meets the wage, that helps us. But instead, you're fucking us. We're going to be giving Bruno a raise, possibly. We'll see. We'll see how happy he is. But now everything is just done. Yep. Well, realistically, what was the point of the last 12 months? Really? 12 months abandoned to a project because you guys are fucking cowards. I'll say it. They are. They're two-faced cowards. And you used the new stadium to cover up your mistakes. Come on. You did this last year to hide the protests. You did all this stuff. You gave the Baliba news that was going to happen. You hyped us up that's saying, no, we're going for Chouameni. We're going for Elliot Anderson, Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes is there. I know now they're looking at Manu Kone. Come on. We know, we know it's all spin. It was spin in February when they were talking about they were looking at other managers. Come on. Look what's going on here. It is. We're going to see some, it's going to be a whole new face in the league next year. Maresca is still going to do fine at City. I believe. He has backing. Zabby will be there. We're also going to see De Zerbi. You're going to see a different change. Like, City is going to be there. City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Like, fuck, Chelsea's going to look better than us, I think. So. I'm sorry about that. My Siri heard me and brought up the schedule. So I do apologize for that little back talk in my background. So yeah, but yeah, I'm going to leave that there for tonight. Listen, again, I'll start getting myself back. I'll do an episode on the weekend as well. Just looking at what's going on the last couple of days. Again, the one thing that's tough is just doing the multiple episodes. At one point, it is tough. I'm going to try and work some ways out. I might just do alternations of the live games of the men and the women's squad. I know I tried to do live games. It was tough, and I am sorry. But yeah, it is good to be back. I will start working things out, get things better. Again, men and women's games. I'll be doing it. We're back in Champions League. So yeah, it's going to be busy time. It really will be. So I will be working my best to try and get everything going as well. So, and as we get closer, I'll start looking at the preview season as well. But I will be back on the weekend to do recordings of an episode. So it is good to be back. So getting the flow into things. I am sorry for taking that much time off. I am back now. It had to be, for personal reasons, I had to do it. Personal and professional reasons, I had to. So I do apologize. It's good to be back. It's good to be back to start talking about this club, both the men and the women. So I will get to that as well. So, again, just to recap, men giving a 5.8 for the season last year, and the women's squad a 6.7. So I would think overall, again, the way the men's season went and finished, in the women's squad as well. Listen, we can talk about the players and everything as well, but I'll possibly save that for another episode. But I think you know who was our best player for both squads. But it is good to be back. So again, I'll talk to you guys on Saturday as well. Make sure to keep an eye on the World Cup. Saturday is going to be a busy day for the World Cup as well. Especially Saturday. We're well aware of the issues going on at the World Cup as well with certain players. Well, certain involvements, to say the least. We'll leave that there as well. But yes, I'll talk to you guys on the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend as well. If I don't talk to you, well, I'll be talking if you don't jump in for a listen. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Oh, yes, don't forget. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. X is RD Corner Kick Pod. And as well, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. I will try to be more social media present as well. But yes, it's good to be back. Once again, this is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.